And there's a part of you that stirs the waters, breaks the calm, upends the quiet, not to harm, but to be noticed. Carl Jung saw it clearly. The chaos isn't random. It's a signal, a flare from the forgotten self, tired of being silent. Tonight, we won't try to control it or push it away. We'll watch it move. We'll listen. Because even the mess has meaning, and even the storm longs for shelter. Perhaps it's not destruction at all, just a desperate reaching toward light. Step softly, dear traveller, into the quiet corridors of the self, where whispers of chaos echo not as threats, but as guides, urging you to listen. Beneath the tumult lies a profound language, a tapestry woven not with random threads, but with deliberate patterns of the psyche, each one carrying hidden wisdom. The chaos is not a mere happenstance of missteps aiming to dismantle our lives. Instead, it is an intricate dialect of the inner world, an invitation to explore and illuminate, to dive deeper into undiscovered realms of our being. Every disruption, every rupture is not mindless. It is a message from the depths, seeking your consideration. Let us walk together, not to dismiss these chaotic whispers, but to engage with them in a spirit of openness, to find meaning in their noise. These eruptions in our internal and external worlds carry layers of lessons, pathways to healing, if only we dare to see them. As we begin to unravel the narratives spun by chaos, we learn its true purpose, to reflect the unresolved, the undiscovered fragments of ourselves that yearn for acknowledgement. In this light, chaos becomes a gentle teacher, its lessons essential to our wholeness. Through its embrace, the path to transformation and integration unfolds. Often, the chaos that initiates itself from within acts out of protection, in ways that might defy our logic or societal norms. It cloaks itself not to dismantle, but to guard those tender parts, hidden from harsh judgments and internal doubts, shields that preserve dreams, vulnerabilities, and experiences still in shadow. Chaos then reveals itself as a furtive guardian of our soul, disguising vulnerability as ferocity and turmoil as defence. Respect and attention are due to this dual nature, where chaos dances between destruction and protection. To rightly interpret its signals, courage is needed to tread the darker alleys of the psyche, guided by compassion. Here, chaos safeguards vital aspects, ensuring they are not lost to the facade we show the world. In decoding its intentions, gently coax this guardian from the shadows, welcoming its wisdom into the light. Chaos arises from an impulse to shelter something unseen, an essential truth shrouded from view. This truth might be authenticity amidst imposed conformity, creativity seeking release from the mundane, or the longing for emotional honesty in a world of superficial exchanges. Inner chaos does not simply erupt. It stands as a protest against the self-compromise and echoes our unacknowledged desires. Ignoring these disturbances risks silencing the whispers of our essence, which in turn robs us of the chance to grow in ways aligned with our deepest values. Embracing chaos means understanding that life's disruptions are far from accidental. They are calls to address the unfulfilled and suppressed yearnings stirring within. By reframing chaos as a purpose-filled occurrence, recognizing the truths it conveys through mindful exploration, an environment for flourishing is fostered, inviting us toward a fuller, more integrated existence. Look closely at the patterns of unrest. The chaos within our lives reveals roots to suppressed or unacknowledged potential. Recurring turmoil marks unrest as energetic signposts pointing toward unmet needs or latent potential. Chaos guides us to discover paths we fear, energies we suppress, urging us to actualize these dimensions of self. By examining these patterns with curiosity instead of fear, the internal dynamics steering outward chaos become clearer. This prompts inquiry into unexpressed emotions and unfulfilled desires, prompting a compassionate exploration that coalesces disparate pieces of our lives. As chaos reorients us towards the truest self, it acts as a redirective force, urging realignment with personal evolution's intended path. In the midst of disruption emerges a dialogue within, one that Carl Jung framed as the shadow's language, a dialect where repressed self-knowledge comes to life. The shadow speaks through chaos, whispering truths of disowned, denied fragments of our personality and experience. Engaging with this shadow language requires honest, open listening, akin to learning anew the delicate arts of understanding oneself. Through patience and dedication, this internal dialogue unfolds, inviting us to wrestle with and eventually embrace these hidden parts. As this sacred exchange progresses, deeper self-awareness dawns. Chaos transforms from disruption to a catalyst for integration, where embodying unity we explore the intricate inner landscape. When chaos erupts, instinct often attributes its presence to failure or disorder. Yet these moments often veil wounds or sensitivities, crafting diversions to shield further vulnerability. This protective function needs acknowledgement. Chaos is not to be banished, but to be gently unveiled. Recognizing chaos as a defense means deconstructing protective barriers we erect around vulnerabilities. Courageously, we peel back these layers, integrating chaos's lessons and ultimately dismantle its construct. This discovery of vulnerability becomes a testament to self-compassion, transforming chaos from adversary to advocate within the healing journey. In these narratives of disorder, chaos silently invites a deeper inner dialogue. Profound insights and transformations often arise amid chaos, breaking habitual moulds and signalling potential space for change. Within this dynamic, we foster inner conversation, prompting introspection where order cannot reach. Nurturing this dialogue means embracing new perspectives, questioning grievances, challenging beliefs, recalibrating our approach to life. Chaos catalyzes unmatched transformation and growth, prompting us to discover unheeded voices eager for expression. The journey toward wholeness is paradoxically interwoven with chaos, a seeming disorder that masks harmony ready to emerge. Perceiving coherence within its intricate dance offers perspectives on order, born of disruption, a step in pursuit of unity and integration. Just let your ears be attuned to the whispers chaos sends forth. Listen deeply, observe carefully, and let its messages thread coherence into the narrative of your life. Here, amid the embrace of chaos's complexity, liberation is found, inviting every aspect of self into the harmonious tale of existence. And as we close this chapter, let us anchor understanding, not in enemy, but in messenger. The chaos alive within us steers not toward demise, but guides to profound self-awareness. Correspondingly, our role becomes clear, to engage not in battle, but appreciation, acknowledging its narrative as intrinsic to our story of becoming. In the dance of exploration and understanding, chaos is wisdom. We find ourselves home once more, within the refuge of honest wholeness. In the quiet corners of our mind, chaos dances not to destroy, but to reveal the hidden whispers of unmet needs, quietly echoing in the shadows of our consciousness. Behaviours that seem haphazard, those impulsive outbursts or tangled patterns, emerge not from nowhere, but from deep-seated desires, seeking acknowledgement. Our urge to connect, to belong, to be understood. These are not just whims, but pillars chronicling our existence. Beneath the surface, turmoil lies the quiet cry for fulfillment. These chaotic moments are like messages in bottles, drifting from the island of isolation toward the shore of understanding. Transforming this chaos into clarity requires us to see beyond the disarray, to hear the silent pleadings therein. Where some perceive disobedience, rebellion erupts not for anarchy but for a voice yearning to be heard. Within these storms, Viktor Frankl might suggest, lies a longing for meaning that transcends surface chaos and guides us toward purposeful experiences. The existential lens reveals chaos as an invitation to dialogue with the self, a breadcrumb trail leading back to the core, seeking completion. Meanwhile, the paradox of self-sabotage weaves a tapestry of self-protection, its threads both perplexing and profound. What seems counterintuitive at first, the way we trip ourselves before the finish line, serves as a misunderstood mechanism, shielding us from perceived threats. The cycle repeats. Procrastination takes form over productivity. Toxic relationships seem safer, more familiar than the unknown of harmonious companionship. In these actions, Carl Rogers might argue, lies an opportunity for self-acceptance. It's not self-hate, but a means of maintaining a flawed equilibrium, a protective shield against vulnerability. The Jungian view sees this sabotage as forcing a confrontation with the shadow within, a call to face the neglected parts of our soul. Consider the individual who is perpetually late, replaying the script of childhood neglect, subliminally yearning for a parental eye. Yet, within these self-imposed barriers lies an invitation to embrace introspection, turning chaos into growth. Lovingly examining these actions, acknowledging their origins, transforms obstruction into opportunity. Beyond self-sabotage, the battlefield of conflict springs forth, seemingly to divide, yet with deeper intentions of bonding. The external spectacle of disagreement masks an internal quest for connection. In clashing with another soul, a bridge is built across raging waters, an emotional conduit, striving just to be seen. The wisdom of yielding, listening, and engaging, the ancient art of empathy, fosters transformation, from grievance to gratitude. The chaos of conflict extends fingers outward, illuminating internal struggles, projecting into our shared spaces, shining a spotlight on repressed chaos. Nietzsche spoke of the will to power, yet here we find the will to connect. an unseen ritual of belonging, where authentic exchanges can find their roots and echoes if only we dare listen to chaos a little longer. The dance continues with the masks we wear, those grand disguises beneath which hide our unspoken desires. Beneath the surface turmoil, the pull for freedom unfurls its wings, yearning not just for liberty from boundaries, but for realisation and reclamation of authentic selfhood. Acts of chaos, often mislabelled as mere resistance, speak boldly against oppressive conformity. This resistance isn't just disruption, but a proclamation, a declaration to shed old skins and be reborn in personal truth. Chaos becomes conductor in the symphony of identity, holding a mirror to societal expectations, daring individuals to seek truth untamed. Each unruly cry calls for identity's essence, an inward journey where free expression surfaces without reservation, echoing the spirit of rebellion toward genuine personal power. In those moments of misunderstandings, chaos emerges as a mask concealing the heart's true desires. Internal conflicts act as disruptive agents, masking vulnerabilities as strength. The cognitive dissonance creates a push and pull, wisdom versus emotion. In these flawed perceptions lies a seed ready to root. It sprouts within the soil of misunderstanding, thriving through the water of clarity and dialogue. Peace lies through enhanced reflection, as Carl Rogers would assert, fostering a model of reflective communication to break down barriers. By sitting with the truth of misunderstanding, we untangle narratives and bask in the light of collective understanding, emotional intelligence, rooted in self-awareness, reveals chaos as catalyst, paving a path to deeper comprehension and connection. Let us not forget the cries of freedom, heard when identity searches for expression unbridled. When the external confines close in, chaos surfaces, crafting new havens where authenticity can breathe and flourish. Amidst this storm lays the potential to uncover the beauty of our being and redefine who are in the world. Through this journey, vulnerability reveals its hidden power, a silent beacon within the whirlwind. As the armour falls away, lies truth in raw exposure, fear turning to strength, chaos morphing into creation. Brené Brown speaks of this power, emphasising vulnerability as the birthplace of our deepest connections. Here, beneath the chaos, lies transformation, a cry for authenticity, patiently waiting. Remember, within the storm of chaos, echoes a cry for sovereignty, an unyielding reminder of our intrinsic worth. Chaos emerges not just as disorder, but as a vessel through which we reclaim our kingdom. Individuation demands acknowledgement of our worthiness, leading us to realign the self with the empowered soul. And so, chaos in all its tangles remains the world whispering in our hearts, transforming disorder into the cosmic dance of innate, inalienable humanity. Within the flowing river of our lives, there is often a lingering sense of déjà vu, a notion that we are encircled in loops, replaying the same tales with familiar patterns draped in new disguises. These echoes are not mere chants. They are vibrant, living threads woven by the unconscious, seeking to reconcile the unresolved whispers of our past. Through these patterns, the mind beckons us, offering invitations to confront what once remained incomplete, a mystical embodiment of Carl Jung's idea of synchronicity, where Meaningful coincidences nudge us towards latent lessons. Rituals of repetition, layered in the fabric of everyday existence, are profound echoes of ancient ceremonies, performed to bring order and meaning to the human soul. Our unconscious gently insists on these rhythmic dances, not as traumas to be relieved, but as portals inviting exploration and integration. As we wander through life, the mind creates these loops, not to trap us, but to guide us towards deeper understanding and healing, a sacred rite of passage, whispering of presence. Within these ever-revolving cycles we find matched adversaries, cloaked in familiar pain, or choose paths that echo back our education, alluring but evasive. Behind each repetition lies an urgency to dive deeper into self-awareness, gently untangling the restrictions they impose, unlocking the door to genuine transformation. These cycles, much like ancient rites, call us back to the emotional temples of unhealed memories. Here, past echoes ricochet through our choice of companions, careers, and intimate partners, casting shadows that long for integration. They are not walls but sacred corridors, leading us to the unlit corners of our consciousness, where healing resides. Our journey through these doors can unravel decades of encrypted emotions, waiting to be acknowledged, beseeching us to release bygone scenes, so that, unburdened by ancient chains, we can step into the haven of understanding and freedom. Integral to these circular journeys is a yearning to become whole once more, a quest for integration and individuation, the soulful alchemy that returns us to the essence of our true nature. The psyche, in its mystical dance, revisits these unresolved dynamics, nudging us to embrace the shadows we dare not face, confronting and integrating until inner harmony shines through. Thus the meaningless repetition transcends its mundane nature, transformed into sacred fires of inner development, opportunities for alchemy, breathing life into the tapestry of our evolving self. As the echoes of our past reveal themselves, through emotional triggers, they become portals to unravel ancient threads. What appears as disproportionate responses are echoes of buried wounds, seeking recognition, calling us softly to explore them with compassion and curiosity. Each trigger is a gentle reminder, guiding us to the doorstep of unattended shadows, inviting reflection and conscious dialogue. Effective engagement beckons us to pause in the midst of these triggered reactions, tracing their path back to their origin, weaving insights from the subterranean motives, driving them. In these dialogues with our triggered selves, we uncover quiet messages, yearning to be heard, breaking the automaticity of the cycle and shedding light on pathways of redemption and growth. Sigmund Freud's notion of repetition compulsion finds life here, a vivid depiction of the human craving for the familiar, even when it hurts. We hold tightly to known suffering over the looming fear of the unknown. Yet within this compulsion lie insights into unmet needs and unspoken stories. Each loop is a script written upon the parchment of our hearts, seeking closure and healing. With courage and awareness, we can bring light to this pattern, transforming the compulsion into a beacon of change. With mindful intervention, repetitive pain becomes a gateway to newly penned narratives of healing and renewal. In the realm of relationships, these patterns become fertile grounds for drama or solace, depending on how they are nurtured. Encounters with partners often unconsciously mirror family dynamics or childhood tales, a soulful yearning for comfort amidst dysfunction. Attachment theories peel back layers of these inclinations, revealing adult reflections of foundational bonding experiences. Awareness and compassion guide us through these patterns, revealing opportunities for profound growth, freeing the soul to nourish instead of imprisoning. As we walk this tender path, we discover ancestral patterns echoing through the corridors of time, deeply rooted in our psyche. Jung's collective, unconscious whispers of these legacies that transcend personal histories, manifesting in habits and fears, transcending generations. Peering into these ancestral windows requires reverence for familial tales, a tapestry woven with heritage and memory. Journaling, family stories, understanding family dynamics and seeking therapies that honour these influences can illuminate ancestral shadows. Transformations bloom and rituals become means to bridge unconscious loops and intentional healing, turning compulsive habits into conscious practices of growth. These sacred rites allow us to rewrite our stories knowingly, transitioning from habitual reactions to intentionally crafted narratives. Unravelling these threads can inspire profound shifts, moving us towards conscious choices. Each decision, a step toward freedom and self-awareness. This path is an ongoing journey, unfolding ancient mysteries within our essence. As we reach the edges of understanding, embracing wholeness becomes the beacon, lighting our way. True wholeness welcomes every piece of our journey, inviting all facets of our humanity to unite. The cycles, once seen as hindrances, now become sacred teachers, revealing the way back to our innermost being. Every repetitive act whispers of an opportunity to merge, offering us the light needed to step into a reality shaped not by shadows of old, but by boundless acceptance and newfound peace. In the dance of acceptance and cohesion, we recognise ourselves as architects of meaning, each part finding its place within the vast expanse of our evolving story, where transformation gives rise to boundless unity and where harmony reigns eternal. In the delicate tapestry of our psyche, Carl Jung introduced us to the concept of complexes, a world where emotions, memories and desires weave tightly around significant themes. These complexes born from trauma or life-altering events linger unseen in the unconscious but manifest themselves in our daily lives, often as chaotic storms. Unlike fleeting thoughts or emotions, complexes hold an energy all their own, occasionally surfacing to leave us puzzled by our responses. The chaos they bring is not mere disorder, but a plea for understanding, the heart seeking to heal. Imagine these complexes as loops of behaviour, echoing stories begun in childhood and played out in the present. They reflect desperate attempts to resolve the past's shadows, a child's call in the wilderness of the mind, longing for acknowledgement. If rooted in the pain of early rejection, these complexities might make trust a challenging feat, crafting scenarios of abandonment that seem to persist across time. Such patterns cry for recognition, imploring us to listen to their raw voice, promising healing if heard. Delving into these chaotic echoes reveals a narrative yearning for release. This turmoil is not inherent flaw, but rather the residue of unprocessed trauma, long buried yet seeking light. It calls to mind physical symptoms that signal deeper ailments. Chaos is the psyche's reminder, a plea from hidden wounds, their origins obscured by time, yet vibrantly alive beneath the surface. This chaos builds a bridge to empathy, and seen as cries for help from injured parts of the self. Yet, our rational minds might attempt to quench these voices, creating a cognitive tension as we strive to attend to those complicated emotions screaming for air. The greater the suppression, the greater the eventual upheaval, which rises as a rebellion, an attempt to balance the scales and bring hidden stories into view. Chaos does not aim to destroy, but to pull us towards a more profound self-understanding, inviting us to pause and listen to our untold tales filled with complexity and unmet needs. Venture beneath the tumult, and you find layers of needs and wounds. Chaos may show as anger or impulsivity, yet below these jagged edges lies a tangled web of vulnerability longing for resolution. Each act of chaos shields our tender core, a guardian keeping darkness at bay. It is the shadow, in Jungian thought, a part of us deemed unsuitable for the light of acceptance. In the chaos, the shadow steps forth, yearning for confrontation and integration. This dialogue with our darker self can transform disorder into understanding and offer a gentle shift from shame to acceptance. This journey often stretches back to the innocence of childhood, where experiences carve deep channels in our forming identities. It is here that complexes take shape, absorbing distress into the subconscious and emerging over time as chaos. The cues may be subtle, as current triggers awaken sleeping memories from youth, sparking distress once masked by a child's survival instinct. Understanding the roots of these patterns encourages revisiting the past without blame, offering a pathway to unravel the chaos's tightly bound knot, revealing healing's gentle light. As we strive to translate chaos into clarity, these dramas unfold in our bodies, a silent communication waiting to be heard. Tension, stress and discomfort are the physical manifestations of psychic trials, a language of the body pointing to unresolved depths. The body whispers truths our conscious struggles to comprehend, urging engagement with practices like somatic therapy or yoga. Listening to the body invites remedies to the lyrical dance of chaos, blending disorder with whispers of cohesion and peace. However, within chaos lies creativity unfathomed and potential unbound. Like a storm shaping coastlines, inner chaos reshapes our psyche into fertile ground for innovation and renewal. Through embracing chaos as a partner in creation, we are not shackled by fear, but encouraged to explore beyond constraints. Creativity seeks chaos's energy, which dissolves rigid patterns and demands fresh perspectives. In artistic pursuits, chaos's touch transforms hindrance into growth. To dance gracefully with chaos is to relinquish the illusion of control, to acknowledge life's inherent unpredictability while nurturing resilience and adaptability. Amidst chaos lie courage and acceptance of self and circumstance, fostering a harmony between internal certainty and external change. When we embrace disorder, we lay foundations of faith, trusting the journey and our capability to navigate with grace. This acceptance is key to discovering hidden strength, a guiding compass on the road to integration. Finally, by reaching out to our shadow, we invite conversation and balance. The shadow whispers of parts left behind, and engaging with it transforms chaos into connection. We may find inspiration in our discomfort, drawing from the mirror of others' traits we deny in ourselves. Integrating these facets welcomes authenticity and harmonious union with our entire being. Chaos becomes a guide, not an adversary, leading us towards the indivisible beauty of wholeness, beyond the veil of twilight, towards dawn's promise of new beginnings. In the quiet echoes of ancient forests, rebellion whispers its tender truth, a cry not of defiance against the world, but a guardian of the soul's sacred contours. It weaves silently through the branches of history, and echoes within us, echoing a profound stand against perceived threats to one's own authenticity and wholeness. Rebellion, whether overt in its fire or subtle in its shade, guards the essence of the self, demanding space amidst the ceaseless tides of conformity. A romantic hero's journey unfolds within, a dance that mirrors the struggle between imposed identities and the whisper of the heart's true call. Rebellion arises as a pulsing vein within the psyche's terrain, a fountain flowing from the shadow, where unmet needs and unvoiced emotions knit their garlands of chaos. Viewed through the sacred lens of Jungian wisdom, chaos is not a wild beast of destruction, but a gentle giant protecting the integrity of a silenced soul. Beneath wild, stormy skies, rebellion is a preservation of the self, fierce in its guardianship, safeguarding muffled aspirations and dreams from the constraints of societal moulds. Here lies the paradox. In chaos exists a serene seed of preservation, clothed in mystery yet striving for truth. Chaos, a misunderstood harbinger of turmoil, shrouds itself in deep layers, a mask too often mistaken for reckless destruction. It is in truth a shield grasped tightly by the soul when the song of safety seems swallowed by overwhelming environments. These storms within are inscribed with deep wishes for plight and preservation, vibrating with a wild urgency to exist. To view chaos as protection is to cast off the chains of blame and look upon oneself with the eyes of compassion, embracing every chaotic current as a profound message from the soul's profound depths. Lost within their quiet revolutions, these swirling tides whisper that an inner boundary has been crossed. Chaos sings its ancient songs, alerting us to those parts of ourselves that have felt diminished or unheard. The storm implores that healing waters be offered, that our neglected heartstrings find voice once more. Though tumultuous, it is an opportunity draped in royal purple for enlightenment and growth. The soul's alchemical longing reflects a yearning to realign with the true north of our most sacred self. Within the theatre of the mind, the stage is set for an inner revolution. Quiet scenes of defiance unfold, igniting a rebellion against shadows of the self that echo with oppressive narratives. Yet the chaos stirred here is not war against, but liberation from those echoing reflections of trauma and expectation. This inner revolution, akin to external tumult, is fought with breath and contemplation, weaving a heartfelt desire for reconnection and authenticity. Rebellion's secret is the embrace of chaos as a guide, not to sever, but to unify. It leads us through internal landscapes, littered the bones of discarded identities and well-worn paths, urging the heart to see anew. Chaos, therefore, serves as a relentless but gentle mentor, dismantling ancient structures and unearthing those parts of ourselves, waiting to be stitched back into the ever-evolving tapestry of our being. These rebellions are not mere disruptions, but steps on the spiral path towards inner clarity. The brush of rebellion also sketches the soft hues of silent protest, a grave stillness against the demands of conformity. It is the gentle clasp of resolve that speaks without volume, withdrawing consent from that which steals true sight. This form of protest does not rattle with noise, but sings with patience, standing firm for solitude over surrender, self-preservation over shallow display. The quiet walker musters courage from silence, weaving a life of purpose with each unvoiced, unwavering step. Rebellion's journey unfolds forthwith, offering paths of learning and rebirth. The wild song it sings pushes us towards introspection, beckoning us to distinguish those aspects of identity, shackled by others from our intrinsic truth. In this journey lies a school of resilience, where chaos transforms into a sacred teacher, guiding us through fields strewn with the gems of self-discovery. It is here, through tempestuous winds, that true self-awareness unfurls its tender petals. As rebellion stirs within, it mirrors the wider, pulsating universe around us. The microcosm of personal chaos reflects societal discord. A personal cry echoing the great universal anthem for authenticity against systemic pressures. Thus rebellion arises not only as personal revolt, but as a shared, vibrant dance upon the tapestry of humanity's epic struggle for meaning. To stride hand in hand with chaos is to open the door to integration, embracing each rebellious note as a cherished song of healing. It is to invite each fragment home, to cultivate an orchard where the spirit can flourish unencumbered by past divisions. This noble path of wholeness requires tenderness and patience, where acceptance transforms discord into a symphony of self. As rebellion births inner authority, not through command, but through a profound understanding blooming within. Freed from external chains, the self blossoms in authenticity, navigating storms with a sturdy mast of self-belief. Not as a conqueror, but as a wise sage. It guides actions born from true understanding. In the end, within rebellion's heart, the yearning for wholeness pulses gently, restoring the lost and the forgotten. With each act of defiance, chaos reveals itself, not as an agent of ruin, but as a doorway to the sacred. Through its guiding stars, we find ourselves homeward bound, radiant in our completeness, knitted together by threads of ancient wisdom and new hope. In the quiet depth of our psyche, where logic stops and shadows breathe, the chaotic self stirs. It is not the vandal, some deem it to be, but a hidden current, a voice speaking in thunderous whispers, seeking its unheeded desires. This chaotic spirit, often wrapped in layers of misunderstanding, is not a destroyer. It comes from deeper wells of need, neglected and once unheard. Guardian of the unseen wounds. It beckons us to pause and listen closely, not with judgment, but with gentle curiosity. Here lies the misunderstood cry, an ancient narrative yearning to be told. Each moment of upheaval, each surge of disorder, is a soul's tender plea, gently asking for a seat at life's table. intrinsic to chaos, is an urge to protect, to communicate that which words have long forgotten. Beneath the storm's ferocity, there lingers an essence that asks for kindness over condemnation. When we view this chaos not as an enemy, but as a sign, the fog lifting to reveal the forgotten landscape of the self, we begin a journey into rich, untapped realms, at the gentle touch of time, weathered pages. Uncovering these narratives involves inviting them to speak, laying bare the stories we were too afraid to know. Through the art of deep listening, we step into a sacred space of profound empathy. This act of hearing is not a passive reception of words, but a full-bodied presence, a willingness to embrace even the fiercest storms within, without flinching. It is within this offering of attention that we catch glimpses of the almost forgotten parts of us, fragmented pieces clinging to echoes of ancient pain, offering a safe haven for them to emerge, revealing stories interwoven with the essence of who we are, unprocessed and waiting. Yet there will be moments when patience becomes our strongest ally, especially as courage wavers. We dance with shadows of what was once hidden, allowing vulnerability to cradle us in its arms. In this nurturing embrace, the chaotic self reveals its treasures, no longer merely a disruption, but a guide, unveiling new paths of understanding and acceptance. Its voice, once muffled by fear, becomes a melodic harmony, guiding us back to our most authentic selves. As we navigate this intricate inner journey, we acknowledge the futility of punishment. Reproach only chains the chaotic spirit, condemning it to silent suffering. Instead, we foster a new approach, one of self-compassion that sees through the veil of presumed failure. We recognise chaos as an echo, pleading for recognition, discerning its need for love, not chastisement, rewriting our internal dialogue with compassion. We soften the ground for seeds of healing. Timeless wisdom suggests that embracing all aspects of ourselves is the key to dissolving inner turmoil. With hearts open wide, we begin to accept the chaotic parts, inviting them to share their rhythms and cadences. Within this luminous acceptance blossoms transformation. The chaotic self feels held, no longer an outcast, but integral to the mosaic of our being. It is here that chaos ceases to be a tempest and reveals its treasure, offering insight and newfound courage. As we tread upon ancient paths of forgiveness, our spirits discover rejuvenation. We give voice to grievances, and in that hallowed moment of release, we usher in space for growth. Forgiveness unshackles the burdens chained to our hearts, showering us with clarity and renewed purpose. By extending this grace to ourselves, we dissolve divisions, uncovering tender depths of compassion and alchemizing chaos into vessels of transformative energy. The tales we tell shift with each compassionate reframing. Where once chaos appeared, a malevolent force, now emerges a compassionate narrator, guiding us towards deeper understanding. Through reflective practices, journaling, whispering to our muses in the quietude of dawn, we uncover storied maps charting our journeys. These rewritten narratives paint rarefied paths toward healing, each word an invitation for self-discovery. As the narrative of our chaotic self unfurls, we encounter emotions long subdued, each a pool waiting to be explored. Heightened awareness becomes a lantern in this tender dusk, illuminating the emotional triggers that so often clasp us tightly. viewing chaos as a doorway rather than a prison. We unravel the cords of distress, instead finding resilience and growth, branching forth. Presence becomes an art we cultivate, tender and non-judgmental, a warm embrace for all that emerges. We don't seek to cure the chaos, but to sit with it, in peace and in presence, allowing its raw truths to reconstruct what was once fragmented. A compassionate presence grants space for connection, ripe with potential for unifying our diverse internal chorus. In the shadows dance, the whisper of integration calls, beckoning us to imbibe each aspect of our shadow with reverence. The chaos, no longer in exile, intertwines with conscious intent, weaving a balanced tapestry of self. This integration serves as fertile ground from which our best selves arise, navigators of the self's complex terrain. Ultimately, embracing wholeness is recognising and honouring every thread of our identity. We are stars within vast cosmic fields, recognising the chaos as part of the cosmic dance. Openness and authenticity dissolve the need for control, leaving space for vulnerability's quiet splendour. In this dance, power emerges not from division, but from the sacred integration of every part. Here, within the heart of chaos, lies our journey's greatest gift, a profound serenity, imparting the gift of timeless wisdom and resilience. In the stillness of our inner world, where the mind meets itself in quiet reflection, chaos waits. It emerges unannounced, in moments most unexpected, sending ripples through the waters of our consciousness. Yet chaos should not be regarded as an adversary. Rather, it is a messenger of the soul, a voice echoing from depths often unexplored. These turbulent parts of ourselves do not intend to disrupt merely for the sake of disorder. They carry messages from a hidden recess, yearning to be heard and understood. Carl Jung eloquently described this through his insights on the shadow. Those unacknowledged pieces of our psyche, cast away into the subconscious, only to surface in ways unforeseen. Chaos carries within it echoes of past experiences, unhealed moments, and unmet desires. It speaks in a language unfamiliar, a dialect of the soul that at first sounds like a dissonant chord. Yet with patience and time, its rhythm becomes discernible. This cacophony is not a problem to solve, but a dialogue to engage in, an opportunity to work towards, an understanding that integrates these fragments into the broader tapestry of our being. Like learning a new language, clarity emerges as we embrace each unfamiliar sound and symbol, weaving them gently into the narrative of who we are. Shadow work, as Jung posited, is fundamental to comprehending these chaotic strands within us. The shadow houses elements of our persona we might rather disavow, the quirks, the outbursts, the contradictions we hide, even from ourselves. Yet these are not mere dark corners to be shunned. They are parts of our essence, seeking acceptance and recognition. To embrace the fullness of our shadow is to acknowledge that chaos is not merely an intruder, but an old friend with lessons to impart, creating space within ourselves. These shadowed elements marks the beginning of true integration. It is an internal practice, a sanctuary of thoughts, where dialogue becomes possible without fear or denial. Here, within this sacred domain, empathy and openness reign. This is where the rigid lines of identity soften, where What once seemed alien is unveiled as familiar. When we welcome these chaotic selves, they cease to disrupt and instead enrich the complexity of our identity. Listening to this inner tumult with reverence requires a cultivation of silence, where the heart stands open and the mind acute. We embark on deep journeys of introspection and mindfulness, inviting stillness to speak through the noise. This listening is not passive, but an engaged, transformative encounter, a practice of honouring what lies beneath the clamour. In this sacred attending, we allow chaos to guide us, to teach us its lessons in patience and understanding. Conflict within feels as collisions of disparate voices, each singing its own song of desire and longing. Resolution does not come from suppressing these voices, but facilitating a conversation among them, guiding the chorus from discord to harmony. In this space, we build bridges of understanding, inviting every part of our psyche to share its story, to be heard and valued. As these connections form, we find the beauty of a diverse, unified self that holds contradictions in balance, deriving strength from their interplay. The energy chaos brings, raw and powerful, is often seen as destructive, yet in its intensity lies the potential for creation. This energy, when recognised and redirected, becomes a force of dynamic transformation. Through practices of mindfulness or artistic expression or physical movement, we channel this force, turning chaos into a crucible of creative endeavour. By embracing its vigour, we weave it into a tapestry of resilience and renewal. To invite chaos to the table of our consciousness is to extend an invitation for communion, granting it a voice and presence. Here chaos finds its place, not as a dominant ruler, but as a valued participant in the governance of our inner world. This inclusion speaks of psychological diplomacy, where we recognise the worth of all parts, creating an equilibrium between chaos and clarity, embracing chaos as a vital part of our journey toward wholeness, heralds a transformative pilgrimage. It is a process of embracing every component of our soul, turbulent and serene alike, integrating them into the harmonious whole. As we accept chaos as integral, not a blemish, our perception evolves. Dualities become a spectrum, imperfections turning into the artful strokes, painting our humanity. Through rituals of acceptance, whether they be meditative practices, expressive arts, or reflective writing, we create spaces where chaos is met with curiosity rather than fear. These rituals anchor us, transforming chaos from a tempest to a calm breeze, carrying whispers of wisdom. As we repeatedly engage, acceptance is cultivated, paving the path to deeper self-knowledge and peace. To let go of rigidities and embrace the flow of our true nature becomes liberation itself. Chaos, trusted as a guide, ushers us into a fuller expression of authenticity, free from the binds of socially imposed perfection. In releasing this control, we discover the profound harmony chaos contributes to our personal evolution. And so, through the labyrinth of our inner landscape, as we integrate the chaotic unto the equilibrium of self, we find an arrival at a sanctuary, home. Here, all parts of us find unity, celebrated in their diverse unity, etching their presence in the story of us. This homecoming is a gentle reminder that we are whole, that in listening to every echo, harmonizing each voice, we tread a path of authentic, luminous integration. In the hidden corners of our minds lies a vibrant wilderness, a part of us often hushed in a rush of daily life, the wild self. This realm, deeply pulsating with creativity, sensuality, and the spontaneity of life, beckons us to embrace its raw beauty. Carl Jung, in his wisdom, recognised this inner wilderness not as chaos to be tamed, but as a fountain of vitality and genuine freedom. Our natural wildness, if nurtured, transforms into a source of innovation and resilience, where it may carry the burdens of societal expectations and self-imposed shame. The journey to welcome the wild self is nothing short of sacred, a path to authenticity and wholeness. This vibrant thread weaves through our being, a tapestry rich with primal instinct and creative impulse, longing to be acknowledged, not stifled. In viewing this exuberance as chaotic, we overlook its potential as a root of our ingenuity and strength. Embracing our wildness requires us to step beyond habitual narratives and dismantle preconceptions that confine us. We must dig with honesty into our true desires, stripped of external influences. This endeavour takes us on a daunting voyage, facing facets of ourselves, long unattended and misconstrued. Recognising the wild self brings us to an existence filled with authenticity and truth. When we honour our untamed nature, we invite both the captivating and the tumultuous, allowing transformation to unfold naturally, like waves upon a tranquil shore. Sensuality and creativity, often misunderstood as indulgent or trivial, are profound expressions of life's force, residing at the core of our wild self. Jung emphasised their crucial role in the process of individuation, forming a bridge between conscious thought and the rich subconscious. Our world, with its focus on rationality and efficiency, sidelines these expressions, dismissing them as distractions. Yet within their embrace lies the power to elevate life from ordinary to extraordinary. Reclaiming these elements opens vibrant palettes for exploration and satisfaction beyond what is superficial or mundane. This journey of reclamation requires courage, challenging us to move beyond society's confines. By doing so, we uncover life's full spectrum, appreciating its richness in its varied forms, from nature's tender touch to the emotional resonance of close connections. Creativity sets the spirit free, shaping realities with imaginative flair, allowing us to live with depth and purpose. Yet the wild self often lurks in the shadows, burdened with societal judgments and exposed to the harsh light of internalised taboos. Shame hides those impulses, discordant with cultural norms, branding them as improper. It feeds on our fear of rejection, fragmenting us. Jung taught that what we label shameful often harbours tremendous creative potential, masked by propriety. Through compassion and understanding, we shed light on these shadows, breaking chains that bind our growth. To transform shame, one must see it as a conditioned response that restricts instead of safeguards. By unravelling these layers, fostering self-compassion, and enlightening our path with patience, we unlock the power to live authentically. Embracing truths, desires, and fantasies, once shackled by shame, we reclaim our identity from judgment's grasp, empowering ourselves to exist openly and unapologetically. The process of integrating the wild self is akin to turning perceived poison into true power. Jungian teachings focus not on suppressing chaotic energies, but on aligning them with our conscious selves. By warmly accepting the wild self, with its perceived chaos and contradictions, we allow its power to manifest, revealing the strength within vulnerability and the energy beneath suppressed desires. The parcel once considered toxic becomes a wellspring of vitality and potential. This synthesis is where real power emerges, not from control, but from unity. Within this unity, the wild self guides us to face challenges with grace, transforming adversity into opportunity. Creating sanctuaries for these untamed aspects is vital. Whether they are journal pages or art studios, these become sacred spaces devoid of judgment, ripe for unfiltered expression. Safe spaces empower us to explore who we truly are at our own pace and to embrace the unknown. In these havens, the wild self reveals its gifts, enriching life with renewed perspective and vigour. Rituals connect us with our true nature, serving as bridges between conscious and unconscious realms. Embracing rituals, whether through movement, art or meditation, honours ancient wisdom and our intrinsic link to the world. They become acts of self-reclamation, moments of pause that transform chaos into clarity and enrich our journey with mysteries of the wild self. To integrate fully, we must redefine balance, a delicate dance between the unchecked impulses and the structures of civilization. Balance here does not mean suppression, but a symphony where both thrive. It requires continuous reflection, allowing us to harness the wild without succumbing to it, fitting creativity into our lives while keeping it uncaged. Vulnerability emerges as a cornerstone of embracing our wild self. It requires courage to face discomfort and reveal our authentic selves. In this space, the wild self connects deeply with the world, laying the foundation for honesty and love, transforming wildness into clarity and liberation. The beauty of our transformation lies not in reaching a destination, but in celebrating the unpredictable and the imperfect. It invites us to trust life's unfolding, honouring the fullness of our wild spirit, the infinite capacity of our wild self to innovate, inspire, and transform shines as a beacon, guiding us to a profound, authentic existence. In the quiet corners of our consciousness, order is often mistaken for a rigid chain, a silent oppressor that binds us. Yet, true order, one that emerges from within, is like a clandestine garden, a sanctuary where the untamed parts of ourselves find gentle boundaries upon which to grow wild and free. This order is not the crushing weight of societal expectations that so often smothers individuality. Instead, it is a stage inviting our inner chaos to dance, to be expressive, and to seek genuine connections with the world beyond the self. Imagine a life where this nuanced sense of order aligns with our innermost truths, as Jung himself advised. Here, order nurtures rather than confines, becoming a chosen path that reflects our authentic vision. It allows our chaotic nature to breathe, speak and flourish creatively. This kind of order does not silence spontaneity or stifle creativity. Rather, it offers a safety net, a framework that supports exploration and personal evolution. Within this framework lies a delicate balance, the need for flexibility. Life, like a river, twists and flows unpredictably, demanding we adapt without losing our essence. Rigid structures may compel us to resist growth, missing the opportunities that lie within the unknown. Instead, imagine building structures that, like the graceful bending of a willow, give without breaking, guiding us through life's endless currents without stifling our identity. In this adaptability, our chaotic elements integrate seamlessly, enhancing the rich tapestry of our existence. As we cultivate this flexibility, intuitive boundaries arise from a deep understanding of ourselves. They are not arbitrary lines drawn in the sand, but whispers from within, guiding when to say yes and when more silence is required. These boundaries, inspired by Jung's advocacy for listening to the unconscious, become allies rather than constraints, allowing our internal chaos the space to express itself safely, informed by our true desires and values. They buffer against external tumult, fostering resilience and creating a dance where order and chaos become symbiotic partners. In this intricate dance, the outer world, often demanding in its simplicity and clarity, mirrors our inner complexities. This interplay can spark friction, yet it also serves as a catalyst for profound integration. By harmonising these worlds, we embrace the narrative that order and chaos are not adversaries, but partners in a greater journey. As the outer structure reflects our progress, it tests our capacity to evolve and adapt, forging a synergistic bond between inner chaos and the ordered facets of our reality. Resistance often sparks at the first encounter with imposed order, signalling a discord between external expectations and inner desires. When recognised and transformed, resistance becomes a pathway to freedom, inviting us to align our structures with our deepest truths. It beckons us toward a co-creation, where chaos and order mingle, liberating us within life's framework. This transformation occurs not through rebellion, but by evolving order itself into a manifestation of personal sovereignty. Rituals step in as sacred rhythms that ground us amid chaos, imbuing daily life with meaning and intention. Like a daily walk or moments of mindful silence, rituals weave threads of order into the chaotic tapestry of existence, nurturing continuity without confining spontaneity. Through conscious practice, rituals anchor us, becoming a stabilising force that harmonises chaos with our deepest aspirations, providing the rhythm to navigate life's storms with clarity and inner coherence. In this landscape, an inner sanctuary emerges, a sacred refuge where the soul rests amid chaos. This personal space, crafted by a self-determined order, nurtures rather than oppresses our chaotic facets. Within this haven, we allow our chaos to voice its truths, shielded from external judgment or approach, and grow towards authentic potential. This sanctuary becomes the birthplace of resilience, creativity, and emotional intelligence, offering strength to engage the world from a place of inner harmony. Communities offer reflections of this intricate balance, co-creating a shared reality where individual chaos meets collective order, healthy communities embracing diversity of thought, foster environments for shared growth. Through this collective dialogue, personal transformation is ignited and order arises from chaos organically. As we engage with such a community, we courageously share our journey towards balanced order, forming a supportive foundation where life's structure emerges naturally, liberated from oppressive frameworks. Ultimately, true maturity embraces the paradox of life. The order and chaos are interdependent, woven into life's fabric. Peace comes not from the absence of chaos, but from its integration with order. In accepting this paradox, we surrender to life's unpredictability while crafting meaningful patterns within the chaos. This surrender is not resignation. It is the conscious choice to embrace both elements as essential to holistic well-being. By celebrating this paradox, we can unlock a universe where chaos interweaves with order, marking the path toward enduring wholeness. In this sacred dance, we rediscover ourselves where both chaotic whispers and ordered cadences are honoured, allowing us to live fully in the beauty of our authentic, ever-evolving selves. In the gentle hush of the night, chaos emerges, not as an enemy to be vanquished, but as an ancient guide leading us through the labyrinth of our forgotten selves. Within its seemingly tumultuous waves, the story unfolds, a whisper urging us to explore the shadowed corners of our mind. Carl Jung told us to look upon our shadow with courage, an endeavour that transforms chaos into our North Star, pointing towards neglected paths of our spirit. The chaos echoes a language of unmet needs and echoes of past wounds, promising a journey of transformation and healing. Like the storm that clears the sky, chaos sweeps through, leaving behind the tender path to self-realisation and growth. Society often warns us to confine chaos, branding it as a disruptor of order. Yet turning away from chaos is a missed opportunity, like ignoring the stars' guidance in favour of the daylight's clarity. With attentive listening, chaos, much like a night sky shimmering with stars, unveils truths of our authentic self. It's not random destruction, but rather a gentle nudge, urging us to explore the uncharted regions of our psyche, daring us to journey into our own depths and reconnect with the essence, long abandoned. Traditionally misunderstood, chaos is often misjudged as a threat, rather than a herald of wisdom. Jungian thought embraces both chaos and order as necessary dualities within our psyche's grand scheme, just as a compass swings before it finds its true direction. The turbulence within us seeks alignment. Beneath the surface of upheaval lies a profound message, best unlocked through genuine attention and introspection. Through chaos, paths once hidden behind fear or neglect reveal themselves, urging us to traverse them and discover truths about our soul. In a world favouring control and predictability, chaos's gift is often overlooked. Yet much like the explorers of old, traversing unknown seas by reading the heavens, we too can use the stars of our inner chaos to navigate the mysterious waters of our psyche. Chaos challenges us to confront our shadows, integrate fragmented parts of our identity, and reclaim completeness. By ignoring chaos, we risk remaining static, confined within self-imposed walls of incompleteness. Chaos speaks not in harsh crescendos, but in subtle cadences. Each emotional crescendo marks a passage in the dialogue with our shadow self, seeking to be understood. Viktor Frankl spoke of finding meaning amidst chaos, a purpose lurking within the shadows. Like flickers from a lighthouse through a storm, chaos signals the urgency to address what we have left in the dark To understand this nuanced language, we must lower the volume of judgment, which often mutes chaos's subtler messages. By approaching chaos without preconceived notions, we uncover its essence, profound insights into the concealed rooms of our psyche. Awareness becomes the alchemical chamber, transforming chaos into clarity's gentle glow. By acknowledging chaos as part of our being, we ignite transmutation, crafting chaos into energy, rich with understanding of our deeper fears and hopes. This illumination becomes a beacon guiding us towards authenticity. This transformation, through awareness, unfolds gently, inviting us to dance with our shadows and draw wisdom from the whirlwind. In this dance, chaos ceases to be an obstacle, emerging instead as a guide on the path to wholeness and fulfillment. Instead of battling chaos as a foe, we must learn to welcome it as a friend. In doing so, we shift from resistance toward integration, a cornerstone of Jungian shadow work, an existential inquiry. Chaos becomes a herald of growth, transforming misunderstandings into opportunities, releasing signals that alert us to the areas ripe for inner work. Acceptance of our wholeness brings healing as chaos interlaces with the very fabric of our existence, offering its untamed energy as a source for creative growth and fresh revelation. In venturing into chaos, we embark on an inward journey, a pilgrimage back to our authentic selves, obscured by the veils of societal expectations and ingrained beliefs. Chaos, being the guide, points toward aspects seeking healing, inviting us to confront and cherish our silenced parts. Amid vulnerability, we learn that inner landscapes reveal truths essential to our evolution. In heeding chaos, we reconstruct our personal narratives, respectful of our intricacies and fragilities. Only then do we evolve, reaching a place of tranquility and acceptance. The chaos carries immense creative potential, a seed of innovation waiting to bloom. By embracing chaos and redefining it as co-creator, we tap into a wellspring of inspiration, allowing it to manifest as art or personal breakthroughs. Through the synergy of chaos and order, we discover new ideas waiting to be born. Harnessing this potential liberates us from convention, inviting us to explore the uncharted spaces within, giving form to previously unknown aspects of our creativity. Finding balance amid life's turbulence is an art, learning to navigate between chaos and order with grace. This equilibrium nurtures a partnership of chaos and order, essential for psychological growth. It means acknowledging chaos without suppression, inviting both resilience and clarity into our lives. Through conscious practice, we find serenity amid the chaos, understanding that balance is a dance, ever evolving and never static. In the centre of chaos, we unveil wisdom. A profound introspective knowledge transforms our chaos into a guiding force. By embracing chaos, we cultivate self-awareness and wisdom, strengthening our understanding of who we are. The wisdom gained from chaos illuminates a clearer vision of our values and life's purpose. Traversing this path, chaos transforms us, guiding us toward essential truths and enriching our understanding of the world. As we conclude our exploration of chaos, we see its pivotal role in shaping our destiny, urging the embrace of our fragmented parts into a whole. Trusting chaos guides us toward self-awareness integration and balance, aligning us with our core essence and our highest potential. In embracing chaos, we embrace life itself, a harmonious dance of known and unknown, a constant dialogue of order and innovation. Inviting you, dear listener, to continue your journey with us. Take a moment to like and subscribe, as together we voyage deeper into the mysteries of the psyche and beyond.